Gates closed. They're all set. And away they go. K38 hopped out very fast. K38 very quick, but now next book.
Welcome to How to Read a Racing Program, part 2 of 3 parts. So let's take a look at the field of horses here and some of the detailed information that's provided in the program. First of all, we can see that the 4-horse Bold Fantasy has been scratched. He was entered in the race a few days before, and for whatever reason, maybe he came up with a temperature or something, and the trainer decided to scratch the horse. So he is not in the race. So that changes everything, because this horse's place in the starting gate can't be left empty. You'll notice post position 4, PP4, for Uncle Luck, who's the 5-horse. Now he will stay the number 5 horse, but in the starting gate, he's going to be in the 4 hole. And all these other horses will move up. The 6-horse goes in the 5 hole, the 7-horse goes in the 6 hole. But when you go to place a bet on these horses, you're going to use the program number. Number 5 for Uncle Luck, 6 for K38, 7 for Nehf, who, by the way, happens to be my horse. Now, let's take a look at my horse. He's going to be number 7. His saddle cloth is orange, but he's going to be in the 6th gate. He's owned by Nehf Racing Stable. The riding silks are white with a red C and a blue N, blue sleeves, red cap. And you'll see that for each of the horses, a description of their colors. Now, the horse's name is Nehf. This symbol, you see a little map of the state of California, means that he was bred in California, and that was a requirement of this particular race. He's 3 years old, so he'll be carrying 116 pounds. He's a dark bay or brown colt, not a filly, female. He's a colt, he's a male, and he has not been castrated, so he's not a gelding, which would be a G. As you see, K38 is a G for a gelding. Again, bred in California. His sire, when we say by, we're referring to his father. So Nehf is by Sindago. He's out of, meaning the mare, his mother, Dancing Event. Her father was Event of the Year. So you have a little bit of information about the breeding and the family. And again, another reference to his breeding, bred in California by Lee Searing and Susan Searing. They were the people who owned the mare, Dancing Event, at the time of Nehf's birth. So there once again is his weight. I'm his trainer, J. Nehf. His jockey in bold type here is Efrain Hernandez. And he was assigned odds of 20-1. Now, we'll talk about the odds a little bit here. This 20-1 is what we call the morning line. It's done before the race, before people start betting. This program was printed about 24 hours before the race. The handicappers, who are hired by Santa Anita, decided that he's about a 20-1 shot. His probability of winning is about 20-1. K38, on the other hand, they decided he's about 5-2 odds probability that he would win. You could also interpret that as 2.5-1. Now, this differs from the, quote, actual, unquote, odds. The actual odds are determined by the amount of money bet on the entire race. The percentage of money bet on Nehf in this particular race meant that the actual odds would be 70-1. Not many people were betting on this horse. They were betting heavily on K38 and some of the other horses, not on Nearchus. So his odds were actually 71 to 1 at the start of the race. Unfortunately, we got beat just ahead in this race and came very close to win. But even at a place bet, the payoff was quite lucrative. So higher risk, but greater rewards. And in fact, we beat K38, so we don't feel too bad about it. And one more thing I'm going to mention here about this part of the program is this L. You'll see L, L. You don't see an L for Nearchus. That L means that these horses, about 4 hours before the race, received an injection of a drug called Lasix. You want to be technical. When it's used on people, it's called Lasix. When it's used on horses, it's called Salix. And that's a recent change, but nobody pays much attention to it. It's always called Lasix. Lasix is a diuretic. It takes fluid out of your bloodstream and it's urinated out. This reduces the amount of fluid in the circulatory system of a horse. It reduces the pressure on the capillaries in the lungs, which sometimes under great stress, for example racing, can burst. These tiny little capillaries can break, causing bleeding, and in severe cases you'll actually see a bloody nose on a horse, but that's pretty rare. But it does improve their performance because it also causes the horse to lose up to about 20 pounds of water when they urinate. A gallon of water weighs over 8 pounds, and horses can urinate a lot. But Nearchus did not get Lasix. We decided it just wasn't necessary and we took our chances of running without it. We use a special reduced diet for 72 hours before this horse runs, and we get about 10 to 15 pounds of weight loss prior to the race without messing with his blood chemistry. So we're not proponents of Lasix unless the horse has a history of bleeding and the capillary problem, but that was never the case with Nearchus.
Down at the rail, behind that chattering gambler.
Well, that wasn't too hard to understand, was it? If you want to see part 3 on how to read a racing program, just click the subscribe button down below and that will take you to my channel and you can see all kinds of videos on racing. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, comment. Love to hear comments, and thanks a lot.
Burn around the edges, coming with a run on the outside. Nearchus in with a shot, anyone of 4.